always, you know what's bad about me is I always feel the need to fill the void, right? So if you're silent, you just
Were we
gotta
just
say
talking about that,
something.
Mary?
Yeah, but
When I should just keep
Getting
my
in trouble with our
just
husbands.
bathe in the silence.
No, it's an awkward thing.
Yeah. So how's the weather?
That's what they call awkward silence.
Yeah.
Just graduated college.
Then there's
Awkward silence.
awkward noise.
Oh,
Is that the same
these are some
picture, Gina?
special,
You were in high school.
We're passing around here.
Oh.
these
You were
are
a
some
freshman in high
special
school.
candies from,
Yeah,
Oh,
I know I
from
wasn't there.
Switzerland.
I'm not there?
No. No.
I was,
You and I both were
that's
there.
when I was doing that stint in the pen.
You know what, that's in LaSalle, right?
That's at Heckler Park, yeah.
That is. I don't know why.
Okay, so.
I'm gonna sit there. Lori, I'm gonna sit with you.
Cards and all just bar size, the silver square. Well, they're logs.
The red ones.
No, in the silver, they're in a box.
Is
and
this
they're all
Labor Day?
silver.
That was Labor Day
Who's
weekend,
this?
1980.
Those
I'm
kill
gonna sit
me.
right here
on the end, Lori. That's
Is
soft,
that the year we all wore the yellow shirt?
Yeah. Are you gonna sit here, or you want to sit there?
I know.
You know what it
Yeah,
was?
I thought you wanted to sit
They
there.
come to see.
Scoot that up a little bit for her, would you?
I was, oh, you all right? You know what it was? I was student teaching,
Were you really
and I couldn't get away. Labor Day weekend, we started, I was at Corbin High School, student teaching. Oh, I'm sorry.
Corbin High School, that sounds familiar. Kentucky. Oh,
Right on the
okay.
Tennessee border.
Yeah.
This is good.
Corbin, well, is familiar. Corbin is the home of Colonel Sanders.
Maybe
For
if
real.
Mike move back this way.
Yeah.
Keep moving. Keep going, keep going.
Widen the
keep
circle.
going.
Keep going through the window.
Keep going, keep going.
Widen the circle.
All right.
There we go.
There, now
Just
it's a circle.
No,
We need to see.
That's a little like yours.
It's a circle.
Right here.
There's room for a chair here.
So Gina, why aren't you there?
Okay, can you see
You
what
remember?
we do
Yeah,
compared to normal?
just, well, I
Let it
just
go.
graduated
It's
and,
crazy in
Okay.
my older.
Kind of me
current
too.
situation just didn't, he
Didn't.
didn't like me to travel.
Without
He didn't
elaborating
family.
further.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Jay and I and Joe
Were
were
you
on
married
a
then?
Yeah,
5-week
that's right,
trip.
yeah.
We had
Yeah,
started
he
to
wouldn't
run
even let me
across
come to Nancy's
Canada and come all down around to Ohio.
That's why he has his wife.
Then we ended up with you.
Yeah, I'm glad I got out of that.
Yeah.
Jenny, you know, when Jenny's her first marriage with, that's the first thing he did was.
Which way is it going?
1980, you say?
We're having so much family history just right now, sitting here listening.
You don't have to go to Christmas with
was
them.
We ended up there.
Okay.
So,
1980 Labor Day week, I was student teaching, so I knew I
I'll
just couldn't.
start, okay?
In
Oh,
3
yeah.
Lori's gonna start.
We're all waiting for you. Well, you got it.
We should give you a gavel or something.
Yeah. Well, I thought we'd just share what we've been doing as far as digging into the family. And when I put stuff together in a book, all the letters and stuff that have gone back and forth. The first letter I have was from you and me in 1999.
I think I've got that one still, but I left it at home. I
Yeah.
have that.
Yeah, we started talking about this back then and doing some research, finding Groleskis. And I know you did too. We found a whole bunch in Wisconsin. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
There was a Jeffrey in Wisconsin. There are gobs of Groleskis that we never met in Wisconsin and Illinois. And I'm trying to figure out why we never knew about them when we were growing up.
We didn't, in fact, even a few years after that, in the early 2000s, we discovered that we had a, well, he wasn't a Groleski, but he was certainly related to us, and that was a priest, a Monsignor Studenski.
He's Straczynski, that has nothing to do with Groleskis.
Well,
Yeah, see, that's, but
yeah.
there are gobs of, and their names, there are Franks. I've got all their correspondence from them and their genealogy. They sent me their stuff, but we could, nothing connects
You haven't
at all.
found the dotted line.
There's a whole family of them,
Yeah,
and and they sent me all their stuff, but we could never, so at that time, then Gina, Nan, and I were preparing to go to Europe, and we decided that, yeah, this would be, we went to Prague and Vienna, and then into Poland, and then ended up in Poznan, where we were told our family came from.
But we stopped at the Genealogy Center in Warsaw, the Latter-day Saints.
Yes.
We went there to see if they could help direct us, and they were, you know, as nice as could be, but they didn't have an awful lot
Yeah.
to
And
help
I
with.
think I've been to
Other
the
than
Latter-day
Posen.
Saints,
Yeah.
who has the greatest genealogy records, you know, the Mormons do, in the world. They have offices like in Warsaw and all over the place. They found one thing that they could show me, which was Grandma Francesca Jacobroth. And
Jakubia.
Yeah,
that's, the German is Jacobroth.
Jacobah?
The German is Jacob.
Okay.
One listing for any Groleski, which is real weird that, you know, that they couldn't find anything for any of our relatives. Yeah.
Well, that's about 15 years ago. Jenny and I were in Utah. We spent the day at the genealogical labs there, not labs, but
Yeah.
historian information there, and we could find nothing on
Yeah.
the Groleskis.
Yeah.
Well, when we were in Posen, we said, look at the telephone book. There were Groleskis
Oh, I believe
listed.
it.
All over the place.
Yeah.
And we called a couple, but they just spoke Polish. They didn't understand any English, and I didn't understand any Polish. So we didn't get very far. But the idea that there are Groleskis living and surviving still in that area,
We cannot find
Posen.
any connection.
Poznan.
See, we don't know anything about our grandfather, our original grandfather.
Right.
We don't know anything about him. If he had any brothers or sisters or
Right.
anything of that nature.
Answers,
There
yeah.
could be all
We
kinds
had-
of, there could be
Right,
one
we-
family that had 14 kids like Grandma Stajinsky did.
Yeah, we have
And,
no
you know,
idea.
there are branches of it
We know
scattered
nothing
about.
about,
Yeah.
we know nothing
Q-tips.
about Margaret.
Put it on the
That's
slide.
I don't know, we might not want to know the answers.
I forgot my hearing aids. Oh, damn. I forgot my hearing aids.
So grandma never spoke of
No.
her first husband, your grandmother, never spoke of her first husband much in any of the
No.
family.
No.
Just
Don't
never
know.
really
Well, she
mentioned
didn't
it.
speak English.
Yeah. She didn't speak
Grandma
English.
Groleski spoke Polish and German.
Yeah.
I understood some of it. I went to St. Valentine's School,
But me too.
and I had 5 years of Polish indoctrination through the 5th grade, and I went to the public
Right.
school in 6th grade. So I was able to pick up quite a bit of
Yeah, here
Polish, which I've lost since then, most of it.
I
But,
remember very clearly Grandma speaking to us in Polish, and I would answer in English.
Yeah.
And she would say, po polsku, po polsku. And I would say, I'm an American.
Well,
She'd get mad at me. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And that was an attitude of a lot of immigrants who came over,
Yeah.
Polish and others.
Yeah.
They tried to shirk their origin
Of course.
in terms of becoming Americanized.
Yeah.
And they didn't share much. And Dad didn't share much about his
No.
background.
Yeah.
And
We're
they just
just
didn't talk about it.
We're
Now,
just
Dad-
amazed at what we don't know. And I remember asking Dad after World War II, don't you want to ever go back and see where you came? And he said, no, no, no,
Don't
no.
wanna
Well, it
go
must
back.
be bad memories. It must be.
After the store burned in '55, he had a couple of bucks and from insurance, and I tried, and he was in pretty good health
Yeah.
up until he had
Yeah.
his surgery. He had a surgery in about 60 or
Yeah.
61
Yeah.
in Peoria, Illinois, and
What do you have surgery for?
What was it?
it was
Hernia?
Prostate.
Prostate.
Oh.
pardon, it was
Bladder.
Gallbladder?
No, it wasn't bladder. It had to do with prostrate.
Prostate.
Prostrate. It had to do with the prostrate.
He was prostate with prostate.
Common mistake.
He was in Christ Hospital in Peoria, in either 60 or 61. And he was in pretty decent health
Yeah, he was.
after that.
Well,
You know, he
diabetes.
played golf
Yeah,
and he didn't die until 78, so that was about 15 years later
yeah, he was in.
that he lived. And I used to try to get him, induce him to talked to him about, hey, don't you want to go back and see some of that stuff? Now, he didn't really ever want to talk
Though.
about the old country, so
No,
to speak.
and why? But we weren't inquisitive enough, or else
Right.
we tried and he didn't, so we didn't try very
Yeah.
much after that, you know,
Yeah.
to get them to speak about what their experience was or what life was like,
Yeah.
you know.
Maybe it was a bad memory, they just didn't.
That's what I'm thinking.
I don't know.
Well, how did you find out what you did find out then
Okay.
about his mother and, I mean, from
I'll tell
him
you
or
what
who?
we've done then.
Okay.
And since then, we have done, well, for instance, like in 2006, we tried to go to the archives. I have found the addresses and everything for the Archdiocesan Archives of Poznan. So we went there. Guess what? They were closed for remodeling. But since then, we communicated, and they tell us they have nothing. They have nothing.
Right.
And I have the letters from them. I've categorized this if anybody wants to see and put together everything we had, just to see what we could come up with, any solutions. And one of the things we did then was get the ship's manifests that they came over on, the ship they came over. And it was the, Fran said the other night, it was the Pennsylvania, and it came over, they came here on the 12th of October of 1901, they left, and they came to New York. It says right here, it says, it's blocked out, but it says new, so we know it isn't Philadelphia because it says new. So they got here then, and here's the three names of Francesca Groleski, spelled with a V and a Y and all, and she's 35 years old. Josephina is 11, and Franz is 9. And they came from a town which threw us for a loop. It said Fredericksburg. Well, Dad always said he's from Berlin, but so I'll tell you the story of that. And they were sponsored by her brother, Stanley Jakubiak, who sponsored them and paid their way over. Yeah, so you have this, don't you, Jenny, the
Yeah, we have
manifest and all
I
that.
wonder what the fee
Well,
was. I
Pardon
wonder what
me?
the price was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the
I wonder
sponsor.
what it was.
And what was Stanley's profession and where was he
Okay,
located?
Stanley, oh, I got that someplace. Stanley, you know where they lived, the Jakubiaks lived.
Yeah, they lived between Prospect and Pulaski Street, just Pulaski, which was the street we lived on, as you remember, and Pulaski was one block over,
Yeah.
Okay.
just north of 9th Street, if you can picture it, if you're familiar enough.
Yeah.
I do.
But
You can
didn't,
sort of remember that.
on the port they left from, the Fredericksburg, we looked that up,
Yeah,
so.
so
it's
then,
what-
Gina helped me with that, go.
Well, no, you explain what we ended up
Anyhow,
finding.
so this, if anyone wants to see the ship's manifest, it's very hard to read, old European and German writing and all. And they left from Hamburg, which is a very typical place to embark from. Yeah, so that information, that original document tells
Opened
us
up a
an
lot.
awful lot. Because you can deduct from the ages, like Grandma was 35, and so you can subtract
Right.
and figure out when she was born. But it's written different places. And there's the whole problem. There are different dates for everything. Yes. And Jenny, you did, I think this was yours, a genealogy chart here. I think I got that from you, and you could look at. We do have in there that Grandma was born in 1867, Francesca, as they would call her then, but that doesn't add up with 35 from 1901. It should be 1865. And you must have found this, because I didn't. Her father was Andreas and her mother was Costanza. That we know, because that much we know.
Yeah,
Yeah. So,
well, that could have been on the ship's manifest too.
no, it wasn't.
It wasn't?
Oh, I wonder if that might have been. We'll see.
Okay,
Then, as I say, Gina helped me. One day she was over, and I said I couldn't find anything under Friedrichsburg. Well, we looked, and it depends on how you spell it. Some places you spell it B-U-R-G, some places B-O-R-G.
B-E-R.
We tried B-E-R-G,
Yeah.
and that was a section of Berlin
Oh,
years
Burg,
ago.
A suburb.
Like
whatever.
that was assimilated into it.
Right.
Yeah. So, this is real important also.
Yeah, so yeah, we did find that there was an area near Berlin or part of Berlin, that was that Fredericksburg that they listed.
Right.
So I Googled Friedrichsburg and I put Catholic Church in Friedrichsburg. And I got a hit on St. Mauritius, a Catholic church. And amazingly, I wrote to the Monsignor, and within a day or two after they got it, I get this great letter back. Where's it? From their cemetery. Where's my one for? Hang on. Gotta find it. Next page. I lost the section here. Where did it go? Well, for some reason, one of my tabs here, I'm not finding. Let me get it again. Okay, here we go. Here we go. And I get this letter from he said, the Monsignor gave me your letter because I am the parish archivist. And he's not a priest. And him, because he's multilingual, and nobody else could answer the letter but him. So well, nothing but fabulous, right?
Oh, yeah.
We've been going back and
Amazing.
forth. This is the best source
Is this Andres?
ever. What?
Is this Andres?
Andreas
Yeah.
Huth
Yeah.
is his name. He's 40-some years old and married, and he works for the parish doing their documentation and searching. So I said to him, this letter, and here, the first thing I'll tell you is a short history of Friedrichsburg. It was a small settlers colony in the 18th century, and it was miles away from Berlin. And on your way to the eastern part towards Poland. And it was because of factory workers, just like any big city, pulling people in, and then the city grows. And so they came to earn a living there. Let's see. Both grew and lots of new houses were built, and then it became part of Berlin. But here in 1901, Grandma lists their home where they came from as Friedrichsburg. So it must have still been part of the city there. And so he goes on, and the main thing he has done is given me websites, resources, and things of that sort to look into. So I've got about a half a dozen of those. So if anybody wants to help and do some research
I
along
volunteered, I'll
with
do
us
some work.
on the website, and see what you can find on those websites. And one of them is the list of passengers that came, not the ship's manifest, but the list of passengers that left from Hamburg. That's one source. He sent me a quick note the day before we left. He said he went through the church records. Nothing. Nothing. Interesting. So reading these letters, they go on here, for pages. He's a fantastic resource. He thinks the original name.
Yeah, with his time, that's a lot of work. For one person.
The church usually keeps such records of baptisms and things
Okay,
like
I'll
that.
tell you something.
They probably were
Yes.
baptized
Yeah,
there.
maybe they didn't have much.
They might not have been members.
Yeah, that's right.
Because if they moved there,
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe
Okay.
they really weren't.
Yeah, but usually you joined a church. I mean, that was just something
Yeah, I know.
you did.
Okay.
As Catholics, normally people would go, that's the first thing they did after
Go
finding a
register at the
house.
church.
Right on,
Register in the
to
church.
There's no,
register at a church.
she says, I tried the address book for Berlin and vicinity, but there's no entry also for Jakubiak. This leads me back. It is true that there is a Friedrichsburg in Poland, but that would be very tricky because of World War II. Damages during fights, losses during the flight, damages by the Red Army, losses due to the expulsion of the Germans, but there some things did survive, he says, and a lot are still missing. There are lots of genealogists in Germany with answers in the former eastern provinces, so the problem is well known, and the situation has improved a lot. So, to find a Catholic church records of a specific village or town is difficult. So it may have been another church.
Destroyed.
Yeah. He says it's worth a try.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's going back to Poland.
Yeah. So,
Going back to Poznan,
Was it going back to what?
possibly,
yeah, well,
as
He
the
doesn't-
origin. They
his-
moved to Fredericksburg. Where did they
Yeah.
move from
that's the whole
to
idea.
get there?
Who knows?
Grandma, they said, Aunt Josie says she was born in Poland. How do we find that, you know? We don't know where she and Dad were actually born. Yeah. Then there's the question of Grandpa Martin, you know?
You
We're
have no
looking
birth
for
certificates?
marriage certificates, death, that he died over there. Where's his death certificate, you know? Yeah. So, I don't know, in our generation here, I really want to find these things out. Because, you know, I felt like we've been in the dark about it.
What about the logging company?
Yeah.
Well,
There probably
there's-
wouldn't have been more than one
Yeah.
logging company
Yeah.
in that area. I would think they,
Yeah.
I don't know.
What about death
So,
certificate?
If they thought that there was,
That's
that he
what he
worked
was
at
trying
that
to
logging
find.
company.
now,
So much of
By
that
the
stuff
incident
was
report, there you
bombed
go.
away.
It's in a report.
A lot of that stuff was bombed away.
Yeah, of course.
It's true.
But
My thought is that Poznan, in that area where we saw Groleski's, there's room to explore more there.
Yeah.
Because the name's familiar.
oh,
Who knows, you know, what churches have been bombed and names have been changed and, I mean, lots of things have been ruined and don't exist anymore. But I think it needs to be explored more. Germany has pretty well been explored and
Oh, not
nothing so,
real- there's-
well, a
not
lot has
completely.
been done, more than in Poland.
uh-huh.
And it seems as though Poland could well have been the original spot,
Uh-huh.
you know, Poznan.
You know, the other issue is Poland was partitioned so many times.
So many times, that's
difficult,
right.
There you
it's just
go.
constant.
Back
They've been
and
torn
forth,
apart.
Germany,
That's
Poland,
You see, it was
Russia.
Poland for ages,
Check.
P-O-S-E-N, because it was
and
German.
it's German.
So it
And-
makes it that much harder
Harder
to
to sort out.
locate things.
Yeah.
But I
And the-
think that
The one thing I got from the Mormons, the origin, that one thing I said about Francesca Jacobroth, Prussia.
Well, I was just gonna say
There you
Prussia.
go,
Look
Prussia.
at Prussia.
It's a
Because it was
whole
part of
another
Prussia.
thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, then he said, don't you have any documents, certificates? Well, we do have documents. Yeah,
Of
we
what?
have the marriage, like Dad's naturalization. When Dad became a citizen, nobody else became a citizen besides Dad. Yeah.
Didn't
Grandma,
Josie never became a
Josephine became a citizen too.
did she? I
I
don't
would
know.
assume so,
I don't
but
know.
that would be in, let's say, in their family's records, but
Yeah.
who knows anything about that
Well-
family now?
well,
Well,
the unfortunate part is Marie told us that Josie,
Uh-huh.
through all the records and all the stuff that they had as family, including, you know,
Right.
Europe,
Yeah,
away.
Yeah.
She had, and Joanne has nothing to show for it either.
yeah.
Besides her pictures.
And so it went out the window or in the fire, you know,
Right.
with Josie.
be some records in the States
Well, this
of
is,
that?
in the States.
In the United States,
Yeah, Aunt Josie.
since they.
Okay, here we have Aunt Josie's and Larry Tomaszewski's marriage license.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. We have that. You have that.
Yeah,
right? We got
right.
that together. And it says, and it's interesting because we can judge ages and stuff from those too.
So Josie was Grandpa's sister.
She was
right?
married,
Older.
Yeah.
she was married on July 1909. And
Well, she
so,
was young.
and
she
she
was
was,
about 20.
20
she was,
years old.
it says right here, she was 20 years old. So 1909 and 20, she was born in 1989.
Right.
Yeah.
1889.
Not
1889.
1889.
Yeah.
20 years,
Yeah.
pardon me.
Yeah, that's okay.
Her tombstone says she was born in 1891.
Or nine?
Oh.
You have a picture of it in here.
Well, they're way off.
Yeah.
Well, see, how did people get these numbers? Dad was, they said, was born in 1891 or 92. How could she be born in 1891, you know?
Well, there's
so
12
many
months
thi-
in the year.
Vanity, vanity.
Yeah,
I'm not that old.
right.
So that was pre.
I was born in 91. I wasn't born in
That
89.
Dad's
That was
birthday is
pre-social
December
security.
31st.
I mean, now they're
Yeah.
So
so,
it's
oh my
not
gosh.
entirely illogical.
Yeah, she was born
Down to
January
the
1st.
that
Yeah.
this would not
Right.
They were
happen
born
here.
the same
But
year.
a lot of these people
Right.
during the war,
That's what was so good.
December.
Right,
there
you're
were
right.
people that were
Because
trying to
Fran was
wipe
born
you
in
out,
Right,
that you
right.
never
So
even
that makes it
existed.
94.
That's right.
Yeah.
And they were good
That's what
at
happened.
it.
Yeah.
They
Things
did a
were
good
torn
job
apart
at
and
it.
destroyed.
That's why it was
They were
so
Can you
so
imagine
I
when
don't know.
Jewish people,
Yeah.
they have like nothing.
Yeah.
We don't know
Right.
who was anything.
She was
Because you didn't
married
even
in St.
exist.
Tyson's Church.
Well, the
Oh,
Germans
here's
kept really good records
The
of it all, though.
certificate for Aunt
You know what I mean?
Josie.
Like when they went into the
is-
camps
this
and all
is
of that.
just
too.
the marriage
Yeah.
license. We don't have the one.
Well, I think a lot they tried to destroy, but I do think there has been a lot kept. But the Germans were meticulous
Simon
in record.
Wiesenthal Foundation, I bet has a
Here's
lot of
the
that.
Board of Health, and here's the marriage license, but I have nothing from the church. And here's the marriage license of Grandma, our grandma, to Peter Locks.
Yeah.
His, so, you know.
So she got remarried.
Yes,
She-
yeah.
oh,
Yeah, we
Locks.
have a step granddad.
Yeah, we never met our granddad because he died over
Right,
there. And
over
that's
there.
what, he's the one that know nothing.
He was
about.
working in the lumber industry.
Yeah, this is interesting as far as when she got married.
Okay, listen to this. Peter
This
Locks,
is interesting.
he was 26 and she was 35.
That's interesting.
They got married.
Cougar.
Okay, remember when did they get here? October of 1901?
Yeah.
They got married on the 14th day of January 1902, 3 months after they got here.
The internet.
Was
They
this
met
from
on
the
the-
Match.com.
Something wasn't rain.
That's why she moved
No,
over.
back then,
Oh,
people
no,
a lot of
I
times
hate
got
to make
married
light
out
of it.
need.
Oh,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely, that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, she had 2 kids.
Stan,
Yeah.
her
Needed
brother, said,
somebody,
come on over here.
We're
and
thinking,
we'll
I've got
get
a guy for you.
married."
we're speculating, he set it up.
He
No,
was what, 7 years younger than
he
she?
was
or-
9
9
years,
years
9
younger.
years younger.
That
9
was-
years younger.
And he had a strong,
Well,
strapping
it's not-
body
it's not
that would do some
uncommon.
work and
Dad and
take
Mom
care
were-
of it.
Gaston.
So they came.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what the dates are, but they came, but they lived with us on Prospect in our home.
They lived in the basement, yeah.
In
Yeah,
the
so he
basement.
didn't really work.
He didn't?
He didn't really work,
No,
right?
he didn't. He
They
had,
He gardened, but
The
the
garden.
he gardened.
Dad
and-
was talking about it the other night.
Right.
They lived in a house on Pulaski Street as you went up there. I can remember the address, 1401 Pulaski Street.
1409.
Oh,
Close
This is
enough.
how numbers get messed up.
Hey, I've got it on record right here.
Yeah, they lived in.
so anyway, we have that. Okay, here you go. So I had contacted the churches to find marriage records. St. Valentine's and St. Hyacinth's. No record of their marriages.
It was a garden
And guess
ceremony.
what it says right here? State of Illinois marriage affidavit signed by Frank somebody, Justice of the Peace.
There you go, that was just the
Right there.
Oh, so they went to the Justice of the Peace.
So,
Married
kind of
by
scary.
Justice of-
he was not Catholic.
I don't know.
And
Get
it
married
could
in
be a
church,
sign that
was
she
not
wasn't
Catholic.
very involved in the
Maybe she
church
was.
back in
One or the other.
Germany. And that's why the church doesn't have records.
What?
Because if she was, she would have done whatever she could, it seems like, to
I don't
push.
think I've got that.
Yeah,
Justice of the peace.
1902.
The churches say they have no
13th day.
records of them.
Love
Be
Jenny.
up
Fine,
there.
So,
That's the way he spelled
so
it.
Berlin and Poland aren't the only